What's up? Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. We're live for this very early Sunday morning kickoff. Don't worry, I get up early on a Sunday. What's the story? But yes, it's Arsenal at Brentford. That's what it is. It's a 12 p.m. UK start time and I'm looking forward to it. Having a little bit of football early on and means I can get down the pub a little bit later, get in the pub a little bit earlier. But ignore Brentford and what's going on with them at the moment. And I don't know what's going on with that one either. But we'll sort those team sheets out for you in a minute. I've got the time to go. So it's a midday kickoff for Manchester United. Good morning, Mark, says Diz. Morning, Mark, says Shubby. Hello, says Parser. Arsenal have a 15-year-old on the bench. Lots of people getting excited about 15-year-olds in the chat. I don't know what I'm not comfortable with that at all. But obviously they're talking about a 15-year-old on the bench, which we can go to straight away, and we can start off with obviously Brentford, who are the home team today for this midday kickoff. They've got Raya, Hickey, Ajar, me, Henry, Janssen, Janelt, Jensen, and Boomer, Tony and De Silva in their starting lineup. They're doing all right at the moment, Brentford as well. Let's not forget, Brentford are 9th in the league at the moment. If they were to win this game, they'd actually go 3 points behind Arsenal. So put some respect on the Brentford name. Arsenal, Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Turney, Vieira makes, I think, his debut for Arsenal, his first full start. Partey, Xhaka, Saka, Jesus, Martinelli, no Odegaard. I've messed up my fantasy Premier League this week anyway, so I'm completely comfortable with the fact that I thought Brighton were playing and they're not. I've not had a very, very good fantasy Premier League week, and Odegaard not being on the bench and injured just tops it off, really. On the bench for Arsenal, they've got Nketiah, Holding, Tomiyasu, Lokonga, Alencar, Turner, Smith, Nwaneri and Souza. I don't know who the 15-year-old is, and I'm not going to, even if I did know, I think I'm not going to. Look, let me know in the chat. Hi, Mark. You rate semi-pro league standard, says Uma. I don't know what you're talking about. Umar, you're not going to take over this live chat with super chats about pace. So let me just tell you now, if you start doing loads of them, I'm not going to read them out. So I'm telling you now. Keep your pocket money in your pockets. We don't want to talk about pace for the next 2 hours. Come on, Arsenal. Show Goldbridge and United fans how entertaining football is played, says Zane. Well, I think it's... Nwaneri is the 15-year-old, says Fire Cable. He's the expert. Caden wants to know who the 15-year-old is. It's just really weird, this chat, this obsession with 15-year-olds. I mean, look, it's Nwaneri. Let's see if he gets on the pitch. But I think what's going to be really interesting is if Arsenal are able to bounce back from the loss. And I must say loss, because when I say loss, I mean they lost by 3-1 to Manchester United in their last Premier League game. So therefore, Manchester United are better than Arsenal because they beat them in the last game. I don't think anybody can deny that. But wind-ups apart, it will be very interesting to see if Arsenal can bounce back, because obviously their next game after Manchester United's win and their loss would have been Everton at home, which I think they would have won. Brentford away, slightly more difficult game, I think. And going into the international break, it's I think it's important for Arsenal to win. Of course it is. If they do win, they go back to the top of the league with 18 points. If they draw, they stay in third, a point behind Spurs and Man City. And they've got that massive game coming up after the international break where they are going to be playing Spurs. But yes, the emphasis is on the fact that they lost to Manchester United. So they need to try and turn that loss into a positive today against Brentford and maybe win. But I think Arsenal will win today. And I put no disrespect on Brentford's name. I mean, Brentford, talk about loss. It wasn't even a loss when Man United played Brentford. It was a demolition job. 4-0 down at half time. I don't think we're going to see any repeat of that. If I'm honest, I don't think we will see that today. But Brentford are more than capable of giving Arsenal a game. And I suppose without Odegaard playing, the onus on the Arsenal side really will be quite interesting, because so basically no Odegaard means they're going to play their front three of Saka, Jesus and Martinelli, but no Odegaard means Partey, Xhaka and Vieira. So Vieira becomes a very important player for them. They don't have Smith Rowe on the bench either, so they are a little bit lacking I think this is Arsenal's problem. Zinchenko's not available either. It's really interesting, isn't it, that both Odegaard and Zinchenko had doubts of playing against Manchester United. In fact, I don't think Zinchenko did play against Manchester United, if I remember correctly, or maybe he did, I don't know. But they had those injury problems. They've had 2 weeks and they're still injured. So it's a bit of a blow for Arsenal, that. And Smith Rowe's not available either. So they do. I put the question in the bottom left-hand corner, and I think we'll get into it during the show. If Man City do drop some points, is there anybody capable of defeating Man City for the title this year? And I think this is the problem, isn't it? I look at that Arsenal side and I look at the bench and I go, this is why I don't think Arsenal can contend for a title, because their progression and development under Arteta is very impressive, and I've always seen it, even when some Arsenal fans haven't. But talk of the title, and to be fair, not many Arsenal fans are talking about it. Look at your bench. Like, if you lose Saka or Jesus for any period of time, who are you going to play? Like, there is just nothing on that bench that makes me think you've got the depth. You just don't have the depth. And look at what Man City have got. Look at what Liverpool have got. Look at what Chelsea have got. Look at what Spurs have got. They're not playing as well as you, I admit, but over a 38-game season, can you basically rely on your best 11 for 38 games and the Europa League? And I think Arsenal may need to get active in the January transfer window, is what I'm trying to say. Do I think Arsenal will win the Europa League? I think they've got a chance. I think it's going to be very, very much dependent on how they keep their team fit. Martial FC is on holiday in Spain and got food poisoning, so now stuck in bed listening to you. The question is, if you didn't have food poisoning, would you be sat watching me? So, I benefit from your food poisoning in a way. But no, I hope you rest up soon. And I hope you're resting up. As United fans, who do we want to win? Says Sam. I think you always want Arsenal to lose as a Manchester United fan. It's the same with Liverpool and anybody else. But I think a draw would be a good result for Manchester United, really, today. Castle Vale Town semi-pro team. I play for them, says Umar. I think I do know Castle Vale Town, yeah. And there's some dodgy restaurants all over the place, says Seravin. And up the bees, says Matthew Sims. I just need to sort out my timer here because it's stuck from the week before. So let me just go into there. It's stuck from yesterday, isn't it? Which I told you. Well, I didn't tell you, didn't I? People said to me, are you going to do the Spurs-Leicester game? And I said, I'm not going to do it because I'm convinced it's going to be a boring 1 or 2-0 win to Spurs, and actually it ended up being a 6-goal thriller. So I jinxed it the other way around. So if you ended up watching that game, I think I'm partly to blame. I need an assist for that because it actually turned out to be quite a decent game, didn't it? So yes, a good win for Spurs last night. I've heard some crap nonsense somebody sent me this week about Spurs. I mean, God. The great thing about football now is that anybody can pass their opinion and put it out there, whether it's TikTok or YouTube or whatever. But the problem with that is that you do get some terrible takes, don't you? And look, I'm not saying that I get it right all the time, but the brilliance about football is opinions is only as good as what you think, isn't it? But some people get it dreadfully wrong. I heard somebody was saying this week. Spurs fans need to get used to this crap football and just hope that it delivers you a trophy. Sometimes you'll win, sometimes you'll lose, and you're just going to be grinding results out. That's what you get with Conte. And I was like, and it wasn't Michael Owen. It was a fan, and I was like, yeah, you really don't watch Spurs, do you? You've really not watched Spurs, and you definitely haven't watched Spurs since Conte first came into the club. They've started the season off grinding results out. Yes, but that's why Spurs fans have been getting frustrated, because at the end of last season, they weren't doing that. That front three of Son, Kulusevski and Kane were scoring loads of goals. So, yes, Spurs have started the season a little bit negative, but that is not what the majority of Conte's reign at Spurs has looked like. And yesterday, they were a lot better. So, it's just, some people don't watch football and therefore they just come up with a stereotypical opinion on it that Conte plays crap, boring football. And he doesn't. They might have started the season off like this, but it's a small proportion of his general career at Spurs. And remember, he was at Chelsea. He didn't play boring football there either. So I think he's a pragmatic coach, but I think Spurs have had a very interesting start to the season. If you think about a Premier League season as a marathon, do you need to sprint from the start? are you better off just getting your pace, getting going, and then building your way into the season? And maybe that's what Spurs are doing. I'm really looking forward to that London derby, North London derby, straight after the international break. And Nketiah will get more goals than Rashford, says Zane. If we buy at Christmas, we can compete with City, says Zane. Well, Zane, the problem that you've got is the problem that we've got is it's the volume of games you're going to play. There's a ridiculous amount of games. Mark, I missed the show this morning, but wanted to suggest Noah at RB Salzburg. He would be the perfect young striker, says Jameson Gray. Thank you very much, Jameson. And Mark, Spurs play boring football like United, but are getting results, says Zane. I don't think they do. I think they have done a little bit this season, but I don't think they do in general. Zane, I'm going to give you a little bit of focus here. I know you love all this. So, look, what I would say to Arsenal fans is what we are saying at the moment is your squad... October is huge for you. If you can get through October and November, get to the World Cup and still be in touching distance of the top, then yes, use January to stay up there. But what I was going to say is this. You play Tottenham on the 1st of October. Then you're playing in the Europa League, not the Champions League. Don't get excited. They were getting excited then. We're back in! You're not. We're back again! You're not. Then you play on the Thursday in the Europa League. Then you play Liverpool on the Sunday. Then you play on the Thursday. Then you play Leeds on the Sunday. Then you play Man City, although that's been postponed so you can play PSV on the Thursday. So that's another game you're going to have to play after Christmas now. Then you play Southampton on the Sunday. Then you play PSV. Then you play Forest. Then you play... Zurich, then you play Chelsea away, Brighton, and then Wolves. Basically, you're playing a game every 3 or 4 days for bloody ages, and your Premier League fixtures are Spurs at home, Liverpool at home, Leeds away, Southampton away, Forest at home, Chelsea away, Brighton at home, Wolves away. There's no easy games in the Premier League. There's no easy games in the Premier League. And I think where teams are when we break for the World Cup will be very telling. Because I can't see... I've looked at United's fixtures. They're not easy. Spurs' fixtures ain't easy. So, Man City always look easy, don't they? That's the thing. I think 2 things could happen. Either teams like Arsenal and Spurs will still be in touching distance of Man City by the time we break for the World Cup. Or City will be 6, 7, 8 points clear by the time we break for the World Cup. And then, it probably is over. The problems that Arsenal are going to have is the same problems that Manchester United are going to have is can you and have you got the squad to keep going every 3 or 4 days? And, already you've had injury problems today. You're missing a few players today, aren't you? So... Would you take Son at United, says KB? I'd love Son at Manchester United. I really would love Son at Manchester United. But I don't know why he would leave Spurs, and I don't know why Spurs would sell him. So, but he's a fantastic player. And look, fair play to Conte. People will say, oh, Son got angry being benched and he showed Conte. If I'm the manager, I'm loving that. He's not showed me anything. He's done exactly what I wanted him to do. He's responded. He's delivered, and that's what you want to see happening, isn't it? So we've got the live stats. Carol Selbird going round. Let me just send this. It's in the DNA. Okay. I don't think the world's ready for me to sing the national anthem with them, really. If you know what I mean. Yeah. Right. Let me just get this ready to go. So we've got the timer ready to go. Just waiting for the team to start. Score predictions. Let's do a little bit of a poll in the chat as well. So result. Arsenal win, draw, or Brentford win. Get your vote in. I'm just about to whack the poll there for you. And we're just waiting for this game to start. It is midday, but they're a little bit late starting here. Very weird. I don't think this is the earliest kickoff. We've had. I remember 11:30s. I'm pretty sure I remember 11:30s on Sky. I might be wrong, but I think they used to do 11:30 quite regularly years ago. When I was back at college, I pretty much remember United playing Leeds at 11:30 one day. But 12 p.m. It's quite an early start. And we're up and running. There we go. Timer should be on the screen, and it is. Chat's up and running. 15-year-old on the bench, yep. 53% again with an Arsenal win to start off with. I think even to this day, people still underestimate Brentford. There's the league table, as you can see. If Arsenal win today, they go back to the top for the international break. But Brentford are competitive. And Arsenal are much improved. Very nice away kit, that Arsenal kit, by the way. But yeah, they're very much improved, Arsenal, this season. And it's been that gradual growth under Arteta, hasn't it, over the last few years that some Arsenal fans just couldn't see. And now they're seeing the benefit. And they're not there yet, Arsenal, either. They've still got... they've got to build a bench out next. Of course, Arsenal win. We are our best team in our city, unlike United in Manchester, says Zane. Okay. But I do, all jokes aside, I'd go with an Arsenal 3-1 win here today. I think that they will be very determined, and they could be 1-0 up here. Lovely play. Oh, what a chance. They carved them open. I thought it was Christmas for a minute. They carved them open like a Christmas turkey here. Lovely play. Ball into Martinelli. Plays it to Xhaka. Passes it in back. And he just slips at the key moment. That should have been 1-0. It was lovely play by Arsenal. Especially between Xhaka. I mean, Xhaka could have had a shot himself. He was in the penalty box. Passed it back to Martinelli, who took a touch and then slipped. But straight away, that's a warning sign to Brentford, because that should be 1-0. And I was just about to say there, I do think that Arsenal will really be chomping at the bit since that Man United result to get out there and get their season back on track. Because, look, I watched that United game. I'm sure many of you did. And when went 1-0 up at half-time, of course, but second half for 20 minutes, Arsenal were fantastic. And I think they believed their own hype. They got it to 1-1. They were the better side, and I think they thought we're just going to go on and win this game. And I must admit, I was a bit worried. And then they just sort of stepped up a bit and got caught on the counter. So Arsenal are a good side. They could have won that game at Old Trafford. They didn't deserve to win it, but they could have won it. And a good start from them here. Cheers, Mark. You never remember the positive comments, but love the content. More personality and charisma than all these other prats, says Ike. Thank you very much, mates. Best community, that's football. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. You're all very welcome on here, no matter who you support. Even Zane's welcome. Why don't you think Liverpool can win the league? We're going to get into that in a little bit, Elias. Bottom left-hand corner, can anyone compete with Man City for the Premier League? We will be talking about that in a little bit as well. You've got your stats carousel going round on there as well for you. Timers there if you want to sink in. Scores will update, and they've got the league table and the stats going round as well. Obviously, if there's any yellow cards or goals, they'll go on the shoulders of the players. Good cross in, but that's straight into Ramsdale's arms. So a good, vibrant start to this game. Mark, what do you think of the Bournemouth start, says Charlie? I think that, is it Gary McNeil? I always forget his name, or is it O'Neill? What a great start for Bournemouth, really. They've done a very good job there. They were worthy a point yesterday against Newcastle. Fantastic work result at the City ground when they were losing at half-time. But Bournemouth potentially going through a bit of a takeover role, aren't they? There's a takeover. I saw Gary Neville tweeting this morning about it. And nice ball in behind here for Brentford. Oh, he's got away well from Ben White. And then the cross is not so good, but they pick it up again, Brentford. And Tony's a bit lazy with the cross there, but they'll pick it back up. It wasn't Tony with the cross, actually. He was in the box. Let me go back to this here. Ramsdale's got hold of it. Yeah, good pace to the start of this game, which is always good when you're watching a game that as a bit of a neutral. I mean, I say as a neutral. I don't really feel like I am a neutral, but I'd like Brentford to get a result. I'm predicting a Brentford win today. Sorry, Zane. Ivan Toney masterclass coming, says Nick P. Thanks for the super chat, Nick. I do think Arsenal's defence, Arsenal defence always has a vulnerability, but I do think that Saliba and Gabriel tick a lot of boxes. They've got the pace, they've got the power, they're good aerially. Jesus is in behind here, down the left-hand side. Needs a bit of support. Cross, not so good, but they pick up the second ball and Jesus gets it back in much the same position. He was thinking about a shot. Keeps the attack going. Here's Ben White. Opinion on the Collins red card yesterday, says Caden. I haven't really watched it back that many times. As I say, I think a few years ago it's not a red card. I think in the modern game it's a red card. You know, that's what I would say. I'll just leave it at that. I mean, really, he should go with his head. He is jumping high to get the ball, and as soon as you do that, you're out of control. So it wouldn't have been a red card when I was growing up in the 60s. No. It wouldn't have been a red card in the 90s. No way. Yeah, I can't wait for the weekend back after the international break. One, because I hate the international break, and two, we've got Arsenal, Spurs and the Manchester Derby on that first weekend back. And then it's basically football every 3 or 4 days, isn't it? It's a good game, this. Good game. Really high tempo. Brentford really trying to leave themselves with two up front. Toney and Mbeumo up against Saliba and Gabriel. But that will leave space at the other end as well. But yeah, it's flown by this first 7 minutes so far. I thought the interesting thing about the Collins thing, and I'd have to watch it again, and I don't know whether I can be bothered, if he slips him in, good interception by Gabriel again. I like the way Brentford are playing here. It's a little bit dangerous, but they've got the front two, and if they can get them into those positions, De Silva, he's just got to slip him in there, and it's a bad pass, and he could have put Mbeumo through one-on-one. Yeah, it's a dangerous way to play for Brentford, but the risks are there and so are the rewards. Definitely won't be a 0-0. Saliba is already a better defender than Rio than when Rio was at that age, says Zane. Mark, how does it feel to know that the United Stand is officially the largest football fan channel in the world, just surpassing AFTV? Congratulations, mate, says Big Ash. It's not about how big it is, it's about what you do with it, isn't it? I feel that the United Stand's been the best channel for a long time anyway. I'm biased, of course, but subscribers isn't really what it's all about. It's about views and interaction, isn't it? So I don't think anyone else does it like we do. So I'm very proud of what we do and very proud of our community. So there we go. Well done to anybody else who does it. There's a lot of cheap imitations out there. But, it's a testament to the community. That's the real win. Somebody wants to talk about spiders. Arsenal on the attack here. Oh, good interception. I think this is an intriguing game, It could easily... I know it's the old cliche of it could go either way, but, I could see Arsenal winning this game 4 or 5-0, and I can see Brentford winning it 2-1. It's just 74% possession, as you can see, 77% possession actually for Arsenal so far. on the stats board, which updates. Make sure you subscribe, get involved with That's Football. Got all these new stats boards and everything. Basically, we brought them in for the World Cup, and we're just going to use them for the Premier League as well. So all this stuff is for the World Cup watch-alongs, where we're all not necessarily going to know the players and stuff like that. So it just gives you a visual thing. Who's better, Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels, says Scuba? Notice how I got locked in on that chat. I mean, for me, I don't watch wrestling anymore, but I used to love it. And Bret the Hitman Hart and Shawn Michaels were probably my two favourite. They were my favourites. Cake is my favourite. Nice ball into... Oh, good tackle again by me. Not me. I'm talking about Ben Mee. Not Goldbridge. He's talking about Ben Mee. Always pisses me off that Football Manager comes out in November, you know. I understand why. It takes a lot of development, but I'd love Football Manager to come out. Imagine if Football Manager came out at the start of the season. Oh, it would get way more sales, I reckon. Arsenal on the attack here. And he's given the free kick. What do you think of Liao, and what Premier League club do you think he'd go to? Says Gark. Yeah, I think he's a good player. I think he is destined for La Liga or the Premier League. I think you're right with that. And again, I could see him at Chelsea. I think when you're talking about players that you like, it's always very easy to say, oh yeah, they're going to be a success. But not everybody is a success, are they? But he's got the profile. I mean, look at Isaac, or Isaac as I call him, Alexander Isaac. Is it Isaac or Isaac? I'll always call him Isaac. People talk about how at Sociedad he scored 6 goals last year, but he's got 2 for Newcastle already. The Premier League is just it's different. Like, you can be prolific and come to the Premier League and not score goals. You can also come to the Premier League and not be particularly prolific and then be prolific. If you look at Werner struggled in the Premier League. Lukaku, the second time, struggled in the Premier League. So, yeah, I think Liao has got the attributes to be really good in the Prem, but will he come here or not? Arsenal having some good possession here. And Brentford won't mind that. For Brentford, it's all about the shape and then hitting on the break. Manchester United lost 4-0 to Brentford and we had 67% possession. So, yeah, it's possession's not necessarily a route to victory. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Let's have a look at the poll because I'm going to close it now. So 57% of you went with an Arsenal win, 20% went with a draw, and 23% with the Brentford win. So most going with the Arsenal win here. And as we know, the Arsenal win puts them back on top of the league with 18 points ahead of City and Spurs on 17. If they draw, they'd be third with 16. If they lose, Brentford would only be 3 points behind Arsenal. Second loss in a row. But long way to go before that happens. I think Arsenal will win this 3-1. That's my prediction. What's your thoughts on Ben Foster's retirement, says Joel Morris? Well, I did speak to him about it. And I said, you know, if it was me, I'd keep playing. But I said, but that's because I've never played professional football. So to play professional football for a year, of course, is a dream for me. But he's been doing it for most of his life. So, you know, I think that... and what was on offer? Newcastle reserve goalkeeper, which means you've got to go up and live in Newcastle, which is a long way away, to sit on the bench for most of the season. Yeah, the money's good, but... Basically, I just said you've got to do what's best for you, haven't you? And maybe at this stage of his life, sitting on the bench ain't what it's all about, is it? I will buy FIFA 23. I've got my current FIFA career mode ongoing, which will get done by the time FIFA 23 comes out, which is, remind me, is it a week on Tuesday or is it a week on Wednesday? There's no early access this time, which is a bit of a pain. I don't know why they've got rid of early access, because that's a way to get people to play for EA Play, wasn't it? Comes out on the 27th, so 19th tomorrow, 20th on Tuesday. Yeah, so yeah, week on Tuesday. Wonder what time it will come out. Jack Grealish liked tweets, Mark, says James Spruce. No, I'm not talking about early access. I'm talking about you know, the 10 hours free that you used to get a week before. Love that. Hugo Top says Dexter. Yeah, I like this one. It's nice. Wiz, you just got yourself blocked, idiot. Oh, it's so horrible, Wiz, isn't it, when you get spotted in the chat for being a twat. Yeah, you used to get 10 hours free. Oh, is that a corner for... Yeah, corner for Arsenal here. Used to get 10 hours free. I'll be doing it, yeah. I don't know how I'm going to start off this year with FIFA 23, though, because I normally go straight into a career mode, and that's dangerous because you ruin your first season getting used to the game. So I need a bit of a warm-up period, really. But corner to Arsenal here. They've been relatively good at corners, you know. It's flown by this first 15 minutes. Good game so far. Good game, good game. Cross comes in. It's in. That's in. It's a goal. Yeah, it's a goal for Arsenal. It's Saliba. And I just said, didn't I, that Arsenal are good at corners. And they are good at corners because they're 1-0 up. Back header. This is a trait of Arsenal now. Lovely header. Right on the front post. I mean, look, this is the old saying will be, this is why you need a man on the post, because if there's a man on the post, that's, well, it has to be a man. Obviously, it's men's football, but it's a lovely backward header by Saliba on the front post. Flicks it, hits the far post, goes in. Raya palms it out, but it's well over the line, and the referee's got the vibrator on his arm, and it's 1-0 to Arsenal after 17 minutes. Saliba scores the goal. I don't know who took the corner. I would imagine it was maybe Martinelli. Look at the white bit, says Don Carlo. Look at the white bit. So 1-0 to Arsenal. Saliba with the goal, and yeah, a bit of a setback for Brentford. You don't want to be scoring last in this. You don't want to be conceding first against Arsenal, who have got a lot of possession, but plenty of time to go. But a good start from Arsenal. Saka took the corner. There you go. He's having a very good season, this Saliba. Zayn will be in a minute. Don't worry about that. I'm surprised he's not here yet. I just wanted to check the age of Saliba. So he's 21. He's only just 21. Very good defender. He's the real deal. He's the real deal. Very good centre-back. Gabriel's done all right there. Good goal, get in, says Heroes. No, you know, there's not a lot you can do there. There's not a lot you can do there, as Thomas Frank will no doubt testify. The corner, I literally just said this. I'm never going to be an Arsenal fan, but there's something about Arsenal that I just can see what they're doing. And I was literally saying before that corner, Arsenal are a threat from corners this year. They're much improved. They're really good at them, and then they go and score from the corner. But there's nothing you can do defensively. Like, it's a good cross to the front post, and the quality of the back flick, whether he means it or not, and I think he does. The whole point of flicking it on at the front is to get it to near the back post, and there's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do there. Saka took the corner apparently. So Arsenal back on top. You can see the league table going there. Yeah, I want to get into that in a minute or two. Can anyone compete with Man City for the Premier League? Arsenal are competing at the moment, but can they do it over a 38-game season? I don't think Raya can do anything about it. It's hit the back. I really think I don't think you can put any blame on the goalkeeper there because it's hit the post. As a goalkeeper, your job is to cover the goal angles. To cover the post is virtually impossible there. He's flicked it onto the back post. I don't think Raya can do anything. The only way you stop that is if you put a man on the back post. But Brentford are still in this game. Thoughts on Arsenal this season, considering they've lost only the challenging game they've played so far? Seems they haven't been tested enough yet, says London is Blue. Well, they play, we were talking about this before, weren't we? Arsenal's next few fixtures in the Premier League are obviously got Spurs straight after the international break at the Emirates. Then they've got Liverpool at the Emirates. So those two games straight after we'll find out straight away about Arsenal. Like, if they can beat Spurs and Liverpool, then that's it. You know, they are genuine, whatever you want to call them. Then they've got Leeds away, and then they've got... they would have had Man City, but that's been postponed. So that means they avoid Man City before the World Cup. Southampton away after that. Forest at home, which you'd fancy them to win. And then they've got Chelsea away and Wolves away. So some difficult games for them there. We do other career modes, maybe Spurs. Just come on, you Spurs. I normally do a creator career mode because that was epic last year. Loved it. And come on, Saliba, get in. Top of the table, says Zane. And United lost 4-0. Yeah, I was wondering what you're on about there. Gabriel, they were just showing him there before the game, messing around with his calf a little bit. And it appears like he may have an issue here. Well, I say his calf. It's more around his back of his knee, which is not good. He's obviously felt something. He's not on international duty, is he? I don't know whether he's good enough to get picked up for Brazil, but seems to be feeling something on the back of his right knee, Gabriel, there. Arteta's telling him about the film he watched last night. There was planes. It was Top Gun 2. There was planes. There was Tom Cruise. It was great. What's happened to Leicester? 1 point from 21. That's what's happened to Leicester. I think Gabriel's coming back on. So that's good news. Still talking about Top Gun. It was great. Jesus, watch it. International break. Top Gun 2. Tom Cruise. What magnificent Spurs and United fans jealous, says Zain Riassi. Zane's back. He has been quiet for a while, but he is back. So watch out for Gabriel. He's had a bit of an issue in the warm-up, and he's had a bit of an issue on the pitch. But Arsenal leading 1-0. Really good goal from Saliba. Front post flick, in off the post. But now Brentford are in down the right-hand side. And he doesn't get it right there. Just keep an eye on Gabriel. He seems to be moving all right now. Hi, Mark. My birthday is in 3 days, says GD7. Well, happy birthday if we're not live then. And Mark, you're a legend. I'm here instead of AFTV, says Rawari. And yeah, we have more fun on here. We've got a community of people who understand banter and football, which is a dangerous mix. It's like cider and lager. Snakebite. Stop wasting money, mate, says Zane, says Jesper. What's for dinner, Mark? Oh, it's one of my favourite dinners. It's chorizo with chicken in a tomato-based sauce with rice. Yabba dabba do. Lovely. Arsenal are top at the moment, Samina. The league will go round in a minute, but they're on the attack here. Jesus. Ben White into Jesus. Good play by Brentford. And I think those two games are going to be very interesting though, aren't they? Arsenal Spurs straight after the international break, and then Arsenal Liverpool the weekend after. Makes you want to rub your hands together, and he says, I'm watching that. Let's do a social experiments. Enable voice chats, says Nelly. I don't know how you do that on YouTube. What hair products do you use? Wash and Go, shampoo and conditioner, and I use Brill Cream Strong Gel, which I've been using for about 25 years, and I've stuck with it because you know what? It's reliable, and why change? Can you sing some Morrissey, says Bilbo? There is a light and it never goes out. There you go. Robster says, I hate the international break. Yeah. Well, let's have a look what's happening over the international break. So Monday, I'm watching the funeral. Tuesday, I'm cutting the grass. No, let's have a look really. So let's have a look at what the fixtures are. You could watch Qatar against Bolivia on Tuesday at 11. Oh, it's been cancelled. You can't. Scotland against Ukraine in the Nations League on Wednesday night. Scooby-Doo. It's Scotland against Ukraine on Tuesday night. Wednesday night at 7:45. Thursday, Croatia. France play Austria. Belgium play Wales. And, yeah, if you want to watch Australia play New Zealand at 11 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, you can get a Barbie and a pint of Foster's. And Friday night, it's England against Italy in Italy. I'll be doing a watch-along for that on Friday night, 7:45. 7:45. Saturday, you can watch Ireland play Kosovo or Spain, Switzerland. Sunday, it's Wales, Poland. Scotland must be playing again at some point. Ooh, Scotland are playing Republic of Ireland on Saturday night at 7:45. Monday nights, a week on Monday, it's England, Germany. And then that's surely it for the international break. Yeah, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Bit weird that. International... It's quite weird that the international break basically ends on a Monday. Even the Brazil play Tunisia on Tuesday. Tuesday is the last day of the international break, a week on Tuesday. Lenny says you're going to do a watch along for the funeral. No. I think anybody who does that needs to be cancelled. Good cross. Jesus, what a goal. What a goal that is by Arsenal. I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but that goal is absolute class. Jesus is dancing, he's loving it, but it's just a fantastic goal. What a fantastic goal by Arsenal. The cross by Xhaka is pure delight, and then the neck muscles by Jesus. He's loving the assist, but it's all about the cross here. It's all about the cross. Watch Xhaka. Gets it back from Tierney on the edge of the box. One touch, little dink of a cross, and yeah, great. It's a great goal. It's a great goal. What a goal. That is magnificent. You can't lie. It's a great goal, and it's 2-0 to Arsenal, and it makes it... Mark, are you doing a Sidemen charity match watch along? No, I'm not. And yeah, it's a great goal. It's a great goal from Jesus header, but the cross by Xhaka is pure delight. Pure delight. Really strong neck muscles. Makes it difficult for Brentford. Is it game over, says Michael? I don't really think so. I think 2-0 when you're away from home is a dangerous score. I don't think it's over yet, but it's been very impressive from Arsenal. I did say 3-1 before, didn't I? So, 4th Premier League goal this season for Jesus. Lovely bit of control there from Raya. Ball's blasted towards him and he just takes it down with his right foot. Lovely, lovely little touch. Oh, there could be 3-0 here though. If it's 3, it's game over. Saka shoots over. Goal kick. When is Portugal against Spain, Martin? I didn't notice that one. Portugal against Spain. Oh, I might do that. Portugal against Spain on a week on Tuesday. Yeah, might have a look at that. Might be worth a look. Madrid derby. The Madrid derby is today. Atletico Madrid today. Yes, it is today. Atletico Madrid against Real Madrid at 8 o'clock. We're doing the fan forum at 7 o'clock tonight, so if you want to get off and watch the Atletico Madrid, we'll be done by 8. Hi Mark, I know it's a football video, but I have to ask. Hold on a minute. Brentford are on the attack. De Silva, what is it? I tell you what, that De Silva, 3 times in this half, he's had good positions to play a killer pass. He's played a dead pass. Man United New Generation says, hi Mark, I know it's football, not football related, but I have to ask why you stopped doing the F1 watch-alongs, because they were great and I hope they return. I like watching F1 and I found that I'd rather watch it than do a watch-along for it. Zia says, any chance you and Simon Jordan can have a debate on TalkSport would be a bigger spectacle than WrestleMania. I don't think there's an appetite to do it, Zia, to be honest. I'm more than happy to do it. People have asked me about would you have a chat with Gary Neville or Simon Jordan. I'm more than happy to do it, but I'm a bit like Tyson Fury. Let's just get it on. But these people just, they don't really want, they don't want it. They don't want it. So I can't do anything about it. Live and let live is what I say. This is how champions play. Forget Haaland. Jesus is the saviour, says Zane. I ain't forgetting Haaland. Imagine Haaland in an Arsenal shirt or a Manchester United shirt. Haaland is the striker that I don't think there's a team you couldn't put him in and he wouldn't score. Like, he'd be brilliant for Liverpool. He'd be brilliant for Chelsea. He'd be brilliant for Arsenal. He'd be brilliant for Spurs. He'd be brilliant for Man United. He's got the lot as a striker, really. MCW, you've already asked that question and I said no, so I can't keep answering it. I don't think this game is over. I think it's different to the game yesterday where Wolves are quite boring and Man City are quite boring when they've just got loads of possession. I think this game's got a good feel to it, and I think Brentford are more than capable of getting back in. I wouldn't trust De Silva again. Oh, he's done it again. He's having a rubbish game, that De Silva. I'd sub him off. Just sub. Absolutely dreadful performance from De Silva for Brentford. Every time he gets it, the ball breaks down. That's a corner where everybody's up and he doesn't get a cross in. And it's Arsenal on the break. Flash Gordon or Star Wars, says Nelly. I do remember Flash Gordon, but Star Wars is better. Yeah, the brawl has broken down so many times with De Silva. Hi Mark, just wanted to say thanks for the quality content. Really brightens up the day. Also, would you take Ward-Prowse at United, says George. Yes, I would. I would take Ward-Prowse at United because I think he could do the job that Ericsson does. Not as well, but he could link the attack. We do need that sort of a midfielder, somebody who can link the attack from the midfield. And not a number 10, like someone who plays as an 8, who can do the defensive work but link the attack. So I think Ward-Prowse potentially could do it. Yeah. I think there's better options. What's Vieira doing out of retirement, says Zachary? You're listening on the radio, aren't you, mate? It's not Patrick Vieira. Here's De Silva. Oh, he's fell over now. And it's a goal kick. He's having a terrible game, De Silva. Terrible. Star Wars or Harry Potter? I do like Harry Potter. I do like Harry Potter, but I'd probably still stay loyal to Star Wars. If you're talking about the original trilogy, yeah. Oh, here we go. Let's get rid of that. Tony is useless and he's not United level, says Daz. He's playing in a system that's very counter-attacking, is what I would say. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. I want to do Premier League Team of the Season so far at half-time, by the way. We have hit the international break, so it's a good time to do Premier League Team of the Season so far. So we'll go through goalkeeper options all the way through to the starting 11. So we've got that half-time to do, which is good. I'm looking forward to that. You can get involved in the polls that we'll be running with those as well. Yeah, bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Get involved with That's Football. Nice ball into the channel there, and it's a corner to Brentford. Gabriel wants a free kick. What did I have for breakfast? I had my normal Sunday morning treats. I had sort of crusty white bread in a toaster. I didn't eat the toaster. I put the bread in the toaster and then I put marmalade on it. So it's a Sunday treat. Wouldn't have it every day. Too sweet. So 9 minutes to go to half-time here. And Arsenal leading 2-0. Very good for that lead. But I do feel that Brentford have got a way back. I don't feel it's over yet. Paddington would approve, says Tylo. Paddington, Paddington Bear. Paddington, Paddington Bear. You can tell Seb likes that. Bread in a toaster, it's called toast, says Jordan. Tell you what though, Arsenal, very clinical. Very clinical. They've had 3 shots on target and scored 2 goals. And I think that is something that United had this and have this as well. Being clinical with your chances, really important. How many teams are, they have loads of chances and don't score? Long throw in by Brentford. Hits the Xhaka on the back of the head and then Saka clears it. Yeah, so yeah, give, again, Arsenal some credit. They do take their chances. The corner, half a chance really, and Saliba does brilliantly with it. And then Jesus, still got a lot to do. It's a brilliant cross by Xhaka, but it's still a lot to do with your neck muscles. Nice ball down the right-hand side. Brentford. I'd love them to get a goal back to make the game interesting. A 15-year-old kid on the bench is mad, says Ty. Yep, he may come on for Arsenal second half. I think if they get another one. Mark, which club, if any, will Maguire's next move be, says Raz. The only club he'll be using is a golf club. I don't think he's going anywhere on 200 grand a week. We're only 100 subscribers away from 764,000, so please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, only 100 away. Let's see if we can hit that. Remember, we're going to do Premier League Team of the Season so far at half-time. Love doing these little polls, so get involved with that too. 6 minutes away from half-time and what's been a very good half for Arsenal. Yeah, can't argue with that. They've been impressive. Who's a better manager, Thomas Frank or Graham Potter, says Summerjit? Well, I'll tell you what, Summerjit. Let's do a poll. Either or. Frank, or Potter. You can vote. I'm not talking about Harry Potter. Just thinking it could be Anne Frank and Harry Potter. Both books. The Diary of Anne Frank and, well, Graham Potter. Harry Potter wrote 7 books. But we're actually doing Thomas Frank and Graham Potter. Plan for World Cup watch-alongs. Any cameos, says Syke. We're going to do them all. That's the plan. Yeah, looking forward to that. Make sure you subscribe. All the watch-alongs on here. Could be Frank, Bruno, and Beatrix Potter. That would be a bloodbath. An 1800s writer of books about hedgehogs and ducks against Frank Bruno in the ring. Let's fight. Be over in seconds. Beatrix Potter smashed. Right in the... Well, it's a boxing match, so, you know, and it's hypothetical. It's domination from Arsenal here as we approach half-time. Frank's getting destroyed here by Potter. 77% of the vote going to Potter. Ecuador versus Qatar has been postponed, Lewis. You won't be able to watch that. Is that? Oh no, that's the opening game of the World Cup, isn't it? What a Has there ever been a worst opening game of the World Cup, by the way? Qatar against Ecuador. And it's the only game on that day. The World Cup doesn't start till the Monday, basically, because opening day is Sunday. I can't stand opening ceremonies in football anyway. And then you get to watch Qatar against Ecuador, which we'll all watch because it's the opening game, but it's tosh. Russia, Saudi Arabia wasn't great either, says Luke Trent. Yeah, that wasn't great. But we all watched it. Well, look, I'll be doing a watch along, don't worry. Who plays for Qatar? Well, basically, whoever is my standard who lives in Qatar, really. Martinelli. Tierney with the shot over the bar. Are you doing watch-alongs at the World Cup, says Frentas? Yes, yes, yes. That's why we've got all these sorted out. As you can see, Jesus with a ball on his back. And who was the other scorer? Salaba's got a ball on his back. So they've got the goals so far. Don't think we've had any yellow cards so far, have we? So if they did have a yellow card, it would be on their shoulder. There's a stat for you. Since October 2019, when leading by 2 goals, Arsenal have won 38 games. That's a rubbish stat as well. They did this yesterday. What a terror. Who's finding these stats? It's like saying when Arteta wears the same pair of socks 2 days in a row, he's won every game. Like, rubbish stat. What a rubbish stat that is. Since 2019, Arsenal have won every game. They've been winning 2-0. I'd expect if you're 2-0 up, you should be winning every game. It's not like Arsenal have won every game that they've been 2-0 down in. Teams when winning, win. Yeah, top end buzz, yeah. What shock, horror. Team that's winning by 2 clear goals goes on to win game. In Slow Sports News, get my yellow tie. I don't believe it. I can't believe that Arsenal have won so many games when they've been 2-0 up. Oh, what is this crazy talk? As I said yesterday, there is a stat from Manchester United at Old Trafford when they're winning at half-time. They've never lost a game in Premier League history, going back to 1992. We need a stat for a stat these days, says Michael Christian. Yeah, stats for Prats, says Michael Talbot. Potter's won with 77% of the vote. Get ready to rumble because at half-time we're going to do Premier League Team of the Season so far. So I'm just putting the tweet out actually. The half time chat. Yeah, and this is not about putting bloody Van Dijk in because he's the best centre-back in the world or anything like that. This is about who's been the best players this season so far. I know who my centre-backs would be. Bit of a half chance for Brentford there. Cross came in. I think it came off Mbuma's head. No, he just didn't get enough on it. Did not get enough on it. I've just seen something here. We've got 2 minutes added on. Right, so somebody said earlier on that Jack Grealish had liked a tweet I'd done. And I was just checking on Twitter. He hasn't liked my tweet, but what he has done is he's liked Paul Dickoff's tweet. I said Dickoff. So basically, I was on TalkSport last night and I said that for 100 million, I don't think Jack Grealish is playing well. I'm a massive fan of his. He was a big fish in a small pond at Villa. Now he's a small fish in a big pond. And I don't think we're seeing the same Jack Grealish at Manchester City, right? So Paul Dickoff, who used to play for Man City when they were, not bought by oil, said, "You're talking shit, Mark. He's playing for the Premier League champions and he's had to adapt his game with arguably one of the best coaches we've ever seen who keeps select him, so he's doing something right. Jack is top class, so please appreciate that and get off that bandwagon." I think you're talking shit, Paul. And I don't care whether Jack Grealish has liked it or not, because if you actually listen to what I said I really rate Jack Grealish and I think he was a better player at Villa because he was taking people on and playing freer. And I agree. I think he is playing in a system for Pep Guardiola and I don't think he's as good a player. So you can swivel on it, Paul, because it's all about opinion. I put this question to you, Paul. Is Jack Grealish playing better for Man City or was he playing better for Villa? And I say to thee that he was playing better when he was at Villa than he is at Man City. I think you're right, Paul. I think he's become a player in a system instead of being an individual, because that's what's happened to him at Man City, Paul. And I also think, Paul, he is not being selected in Pep's best 11, Paul, but he was being selected as the main man for Aston Villa. So therefore, I stand by what I said, and Grealish can like the tweet if he likes, but actually, I was complimenting you, Jack, on what a good player you were at Villa, and now you've become a bit of a system player, and I don't like it. So there you go, Paul. Understand, I'm not attacking your City club and I'm not attacking Jack. I'm actually complimenting him and saying I preferred it when he played with more freedom at Aston Villa and England. And I think he's playing in a system now which is not getting the best out of him. Simple as that. Some people just want to turn it into, I'm saying Grealish is shit. And actually, I'd said exactly the opposite. And I went on to say, I think if he'd come to United, he'd be a different player there because he'd get more freedom. And in Pep's system, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't have to like it, Paul. If I don't like Marmite on my toast, are you going to tweet me about that as well? Bloody hell. These ex-players, they think they bloody know what they're on about. Oh, I've played football at the highest level, so I know what I'm on about. So did Gaza. I wouldn't trust him with my shopping. Anyway, let's get on. You're just hating because he plays for your rival. Mate, it's exactly the opposite. Because my comments were actually laced with, I think he's a good player. I would pick him for England. He's one of my favourite players for England. I just don't like what's happening to Man City. And I think for £100 million, he's a bit of a squad player. Would Pep Guardiola start Jack Grealish in his best side? Wrong answer. So, there we go. Right, let's get on with this Premier League team of the season so far. I just need to stop the clock. And I don't mind people having a different opinion to me. But one, you're not listening to my opinion. You've just heard Grealish isn't doing well at Man City. Oh, he is. I'm mad for it. I'm Paul Kickoff. I used to play for Man City. You're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm saying that he was a better player at Villa because he was allowed to play with more freedom. Now, of course, at Man City, you're not going to get that freedom, are you? You know, it's not bloody Braveheart. He's not going to get that freedom. But I don't think we're seeing the Jack Grealish that we did a couple of years ago. My opinion. Right, let's get on with some polls. We're going to do the poll. Can Leicester turn this season around if they keep or sack Rodgers? Says Dave. Don't really want to talk about it, Dave, but I would give Rodgers one more game. Yes. Right, goalkeeper of the season so far. What are we going for? You can vote for this. I'm going to do a poll. We're doing Premier League team of the season so far. I can help you out with some positions, but goalkeeper, I've got to say, I didn't say City have ruined Grealish, Ada. That's not what I said. Go for a walk with Paul Kickoff and talk out your arse, because no one's listening to what I actually said and I'm not talking about it anymore. Dean Henderson definitely doesn't get it. I think Nick Pope has been very good. I need another one. Sanchez at Brighton's done very well. They've not conceded many goals. Alisson, no. No, you can't put Alisson in there. He's not had a very good start to the season. Liverpool have not had a very good start to the season. You're going with best goalkeeper in the Premier League. We're going for form. We're going off the season so far. If you want a little bit of help with this, because you're not that bright, what can we sort out the... I know what we do. We'll take that. Okay. So that might help you a little bit. There's the Premier League top 10. It's on form so far. It's not on who's the best goalkeeper in the world. So, what does it say there? I mean, you probably have got to put Sanchez in. I think Pope's been decent. And why is he going to bottom of the league? I don't want bottom of the league. Dickoff's got hold of my bloody stats now. Right, there we go. Right, there's 4 contenders I'm going to do for you here. So we're voting for goalkeeper of the season so far. We're going to have to get a move on here. Prem team of the season so far. Let me copy that. So we'll go Ramsdale. We'll go Sanchez. We'll go Pope. And we'll go Lloris. Get your vote. Goalkeeper. Right. Who are we thinking about right backs? It's gone off completely now. Just doesn't want to do it. There we go. Top of the league. Yeah, Ward's definitely not getting it, is he? So get your votes in. Haaland in already. Right backs. I think right backs, Deleu's done very well. Deleu has done very well for Manchester United. No one at Spurs. Ben White, maybe. He's not really a right back though, is he? Tottenham, no. Man City's right back has been a bit moved around a bit. Brighton, Fulham, no. Chelsea, Reece James, maybe. Trent's not had a very good season. Brentford, Trippier, Belakoch up to centre-back. Okay, I think I've got some contenders for that. Thanks for the super chat from Zane. Ramsdale obviously is one of the best in Europe right now. And it's close between Ramsdale and Pope. I'm going to close this down in 10 seconds because we've got to get through. Cancelo plays at left-back mainly, mate. I've got 3 contenders for right-back. I'm sorted for defenders. We're going to close the goalkeeper one down in 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ramsdale's won it with 38% of the vote. Pope got 36% of the vote. Lloris 11% and Sanchez got 15%. Right, we're going to do right backs. I know who we need, so let's get these going. So we've got for right back, we've got Deleu, we've got Trippier, and we've got Ben White. They are your 3 contenders for right back of the season so far. Southgate's took all these bloody right backs and none of them can get in the bloody contender. Well, Trippier is one of them, I suppose. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Interactive community. Everybody is welcome on That's Football. We will, of course, be doing every watch-along for the World Cup in a couple of months' time. And we're only 10 subscribers away from 764,000. So please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Centre-backs I'm okay with. Yeah, I will need some help for some contenders on some of them, but I think I'm pretty much okay for centre-backs, which will be interesting because we'll just go with the top. Well, no, I don't know whether we'll go with the top two. It's hard to go with the top two, isn't it? Because that might not always be the best way of doing it, but we'll certainly work a way of doing it. Ramsdale's the goalkeeper then. Let's have a look who the right back's going to be. A lot of Chelsea fans saying it should be Reece James. It's very close between Trippier and Dalot. Ben White got 28% as well. Trippier's got 37% and Dalot has got 35%. There's a few people saying that Reece James should be in there. It's coming down from Trippier. He's down on 36%. I think we need to keep this going on a little bit. Savage says it's not fair because Dalot should win. Well, definitely not Reece James. I don't think Reece James has had a... I think Reece James is one of the best right-backs in the league, but that's not what we're doing. We're doing Premier League right-back of the season so far on form, and I don't really think that Reece James has had an amazing start to the season. As I say, the goalkeeper would be Alisson if you were talking about the best goalkeeper in the Premier League, but we're talking about the goalkeeper of the Premier League season so far, and you voted for Ramsdale. Dalot has taken over Trippier here. I'm going to count this down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is Dalot. So we move to centre-backs. I haven't really got the time to do individuals, so we will go... I don't believe what I've just done. And Paul, how do we do the centre-backs? Do we go with the top two, or do we go right centre-back and left centre-back? That's basically what I need to know. I mean, Saliba's going to be in there. Countable, sustainable, even versus Leicester, they counter-attacks as Terence. We're going to go with the top two here then. Okay. I'm going to put Bella Koch up in there. I think he's been really good. Give me some suggestions. Yeah, Longlay's not getting in. I can't put Koulibaly in. I can't do this. Right, I need the best four. I wanted to put about 6 or 7 in there. Right, we need the best four. Definitely Saliba. Definitely Varane. Definitely Martinez. I need another one. I don't think City's defence has been that good. I genuinely don't think City's defence has been that good. I know they're second, but I don't think they've been that good. I don't think Stones and Diaz have looked that good. Romero at Spurs, maybe, yeah. Maguire's not going to get in. Okay, I've got 4. I know exactly who I'm going to go with. So let's go Saliba, Varane. So we've gone with Saliba, Varane, Anderson of Palace and Martinez. I think if you've watched Palace this season, Anderson has been superb. So we will go with him. There'll be a lot of people not happy but I mean, oh my God. Xenox said blood put Varane in. You don't watch football, mate. You just don't watch football. You've just exposed yourself. You do not watch football. Manchester United, since they got beat 4-0 by Brighton, brought Varane and Martinez in, and they've conceded 2 goals in 4 games, and we've won 4 games because of our defence. If you don't watch football, that's up for you. But Man United haven't been playing well. Our defence has been rock solid. So we've got the best centre-back partnership in the league at the moment. You could argue it should be Varane and Martinez. Personally, I do like Saliba, and I think Anderson's done well. But you don't watch football if you think Varane shouldn't be in there, because I think Varane's the best centre-back in the league at the moment, comfortably. So I can watch Arsenal and say Saliba's fantastic, but you can't tell me that Varane's not played well this season, because he has. Bella Kotchup's a little bit unlucky, to be fair. Remember, this is an Arsenal watch-along. So, you know, we have got Ramsdale in goal, which I don't think normally would happen. Saliba's got 50% here, which is absolutely fine. So we've got Saliba, and we're just waiting to see who's going to get the second spot here. You lost your first 2 games, laugh out loud. Check who played at centre-back. You see, this is what I mean. I'm not being offensive. You don't watch football because you've literally just exposed yourself. You know what he came back with? You lost your first 2 games. Varane didn't play, mate. You see, you don't watch football. So stay out of these sort of conversations. If you just watch your own team, that's football's not for you. If you watch lots of other football, then you can get involved in this. But you can't tell me that Varane's not been brilliant this season. And he didn't play against Brentford, and he didn't play against Brighton. So educate yourself, and then you can get involved in grown-up conversations. Varane is second. He's got 25%, and Martinez is on 19%. I'm actually stunned and happy because I love Martinez, but Varane has been our better centre-back. So, yep, we have Varane and Saliba as centre-back pairings, which, should that be France's starting centre-back pairing? I don't think it will be, but maybe it should be. Right, left backs. What are we going for? Players are out for the second half here, so we're going to be carrying on with this second half. Who would you go for as your centre backs, your left backs this season? I think it's hard to put an Arsenal player in because Zinchenko's played some and Cherney's played another. Malacia's been very good for Manchester United. I would put him in. I can't put many Man United players in for the other areas because, you know, we've not been that good. Our defence has been the strongest part. Sancho at City, Grealish at United, both be better, says Daniel Luciano. Very intelligent point, actually. I am going to add in Perisic. He's done quite well. We'll keep it at 3 for this because I think it's going to be quite easy. Clowns laughing at Martinez and Varane only look at Twitter posts about matches and don't actually watch themselves. So if you're not going to watch football and educate yourself, then you don't get involved in these conversations because, you know, I watch a lot of football and I can honestly say that, you know, Saliba's been fantastic this season. Bella Kotchup's been fantastic this season. You know, Nick Pope's done a fantastic job at Newcastle as well. But I can't respect people who think that Varane hasn't had a good season because didn't even play in the first 2 games and has been brilliant. And the reason United have won 4 Premier League games in a row is because of our defence. That's basically what it's all about. Cancelo's going to win this one comfortably. He's got 73% of the vote. So we'll move through that. Now, we're keeping the game, aim on the guy, eye on the game here, and Arsenal are on the attack in the box. They've started off very well. Jesus! Oh my God, he was like a slalom skier there. He went through 2 tackles in the box. I thought he was going to get the shot off, but it was blocked and it could have been 3-0 there. Cancelo wins the vote with 72%. Do you think Mbappe will do the same numbers Haaland is doing in the Premier League in that City side? Says unknown. No, he won't do because he's a bottle job staying at PSG, isn't he? Don't get me started on Mbappe. I mean, it's up to him what he does. I'll always say that. It's completely up to Mbappe what he does. It's his life and, you know, it's up to him what he does. But it's also up to us what we do as football fans with our opinion. And this is a guy that is quite clearly one of the best players in the world who started his career in the French league at Monaco. Went to PSG, which I thought was a bit of a waste anyway because you've already spent time at Monaco in the French league. spends a few years at PSG in the French league, and then has a chance to go to Real Madrid and decides to spend a few more years in the French league. I'm like, mate, if you're playing in the Premier League or La Liga or even Serie A or maybe even the Bundesliga, I might go, okay, I understand it. You're playing in the French league, mate. You're one of the best players in the world, and all you've done is play in the French league until your mid-20s. I just think it's a waste. A waste. What do you think of Matip's season, says John? Well, he was injured at the start of it, wasn't he? Very good player, but yeah. Mark, do you think Mane really is world-class, or did Klopp make him look great? Only 1 goal in his last 7 games and has played terrible at Bayern, says Myron. Well, I don't watch Bayern. I mean, I watched Bayern the other day against Barcelona, and I thought they played very well. But I've heard different things about Mane. So Partey will have Casemiro in his pockets. Partey is levels ahead and cheaper, says Zane. I don't talk about Thomas Partey, to be honest with you. Let's just appreciate the football. Let's be real. None of us will refuse their wages as everything goes. I would. Money's not everything. Your legacy as a footballer is more important than your wage, than your pocket. Then again, not all footballers are like that. Saka on the attack. Good shot. Oh, what a goal by Vieira. This is absolutely game over now. What a hit. I mean, I don't know whether the keeper should do better here, but that is 3-0 Arsenal. I mean, game over. They're here for business this season. Let's watch this back. It's another assist by Saka. Oh, it's not. The keeper can't do anything about it. It's a worldie. It's an absolute worldie. He can't do anything about this. That is delightful. That is absolutely delightful by Vieira. Left foot. It's a training ground goal. Keeper can't do anything about it. Midfield of Brentford shouldn't stand off, but it's a delightful goal. What can you do? There was an assist, James, and it was a goal. It was an assist by Saka, but it's just delightful, absolutely delightful goal by the new signing from Portugal, Fabio Vieira. First goal for Arsenal, probably, yeah, I think 3-0 game over. Even as a United fan, you can't help but admire Haaland. 100 goals in 99 games is outrageous. He could break Ronaldo, Messi records, I think. Thoughts, Mark, says Rob. I think that, as I said, I think Erling Haaland would score a lot of goals for Arsenal. I think he'd score a lot of goals for Liverpool. I think he's top striker. He is what he is. He's a goal scorer, and that's what top strikers are, aren't they? Champions in the making. United fans and Mark watch how football should be played. Vieira's the new Bernardo Silva, says Zane. Well, I don't think he's at that level. If Grealish is worth 100 million, what's Son's value, says Yo. Grealish isn't worth 100 million. I think even Jack Grealish knows that. Aston Villa put a price on him that they thought no one else would pay, and only Man City would have paid it. Like, imagine if United had paid 100 million for Grealish. People wouldn't shut up about it. Was he given a penalty? Or a corner? What's happened here? Oh, I don't know what's going on. Penalty to Brighton. Penalty to Brighton. Well, I don't really know what's going on here. Penalty to Brentford. Oh, he's just right. It's Martinelli. I mean, it's really soft, that is. You don't normally see those happen. Or is it a free kick? Free kick. It's a free kick. It's not a penalty. Arsenal were acting like it was a penalty. It's a free kick on the edge. I was going to say, it's funny, isn't it? It's not a penalty. It's a free kick. It's really funny because if that had been in the box, he never would have given it. If that had been given as a penalty, I would have said that's really soft. But He's given a free kick on the edge where, basically Martinelli's grabbed hold of me, I think it was, and he's given a free kick. If that was in the box, he wouldn't give it. Also, I think it's crazy. No top club has gone for Son. He's criminally underrated, says Rob. Yeah, you're going to upset some Spurs fans there. I mean, so Ivan Toney's on the free kick over the bar. Midfielder polls, please, says Pat. Yeah, we've got plenty of time, mate. We've got 40 minutes left of this half. Just chill out, mate. He's getting stressed about the Premier League team of the season so far. You're not in it. 3-0 seriously, says Robin. Yep, Arsenal have been very good, to be fair. Which is a bit of a shame. I mean, I don't want the Premier League to become like this, where, you go to Brentford and it's an easy win, but I don't think it's sustainable for the Premier League to stay competitive. I don't think Fulham are going to be picking up points against Liverpool at home every week. I do think that the Cities and the Arsenals, etc., are going to suddenly start disposing of teams like this because of the quality that they've got. But it'd be nice if the Premier League could stay competitive, but I don't think it will. Arsenal have not won the league yet, Marash, but they've got two very interesting games coming up after the international break. They've got Spurs and then they've got Liverpool, both at home. And imagine if they won both those games. And it's viable. They played well against United at Old Trafford. It is viable that Arsenal could beat Spurs and Liverpool at the Emirates. Well, if they do that, then really there will be a lot of excitement. I just don't think that, going to the point in the bottom corner, I just don't think Arsenal have got the depth to challenge for the title. I think that you look at their bench today, and yes, they are missing Zinchenko and Odegaard and Smith Rowe, and they won't always be missing those players. But I think what Arsenal need to do if they want to be in a title race is they've got to stay in the title race until Christmas, and then they've got to buy a couple of players in January, and that's a big if, isn't it? But at the moment, they are if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be very happy because you are the credible alternative to Man City at the moment. I don't think Liverpool are in a position to challenge for the title at the moment. I mean, okay, they've had a game postponed this weekend, so it's hard to challenge when you can't win points. But at the moment, Liverpool are the viable alternative. Partey just got double tackled here. Thanks to everyone who's watching, by the way. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I think we've hit 664k. Everyone's welcome on the United stand. Will you do Leicester versus Forest as sub? I probably will do, because it might be, if Rodgers has been sacked, or it could be his last game, so it might be quite an interesting one. We are doing England-Italy on Friday night, and then the following Monday, Germany, and then the following Tuesday, I might well do Portugal versus Spain, as well as we start looking forward to the World Cup. I'm sure a lot of us will be watching some international games over the international break, getting familiar with a few teams for ahead of the World Cup. Before we go into that international bubble, we'll be doing every game as a watch-along on this channel, by the way, so make sure you subscribe. I did predict this game would be 3-1 to Arsenal. I think at the moment I feel it might be more goals for Arsenal and not Brentford. Don't you think Martinez is so cute and tiny, says Vortex, and the Arsenal side could surpass Pep's 08-12 Barca, says James Bond. Do you think the MLS is more competitive than the Premier League or any other league, says Patty? I think you're drunk. And no, we won't do the World Cup watch-alongs on the United Stand, D. We'll do them on here. Arsenal on the attack again. I need some... lovely play. Lovely play. Oh, good save. It was nearly 4-0. Jesus, little 1-2. And a 1-2 with Xhaka, who's smiling because he would have had another assist. And Jesus, good save by the keeper there. Could have been 4-0. Who do we think is... if we play a midfield 3 then and we have a CDM, who do you think's been the best CDMs in the Premier League so far this season. Who do you think will win the North London derby now with Tottenham in better form and especially Son coming back to his glorious days? Zed Music, I think because it's at the Emirates, I'd go with Arsenal. Looking forward to FIFA, only a week to go now, says Rob. Yeah, can't wait. Get those career modes up and running. I think Rodri does have to be a contender. Yes, I agree. Anybody else? Should we just put Rodri in there? Yeah, I'm not even going to run a poll. There's no point because no one's going to beat Rodri. So there we go. We'll go with Rodri there. Well, De Bruyne is going to get in as well, so we may as well just put him in. You know, there's no way he's not going to get in. So the final midfielder. Mark, look at Levitt's goal against Kilmarnock, says Dan B. A few people saying Xhaka. Bentanka. Bernardo Silva's not a bad shout. Odegaard's been okay. Okay, I've got a few. Okay, we've got a few here now. Actually, there's a few. I've got a few. Let me do it. Premier League. Who was it? Okay, we've got 4 options. You've got Eriksen, Odegaard, Bernardo Silva and Xhaka. Considering Rodri and De Bruyne are already in, who would your third midfielder be in Premier League player of the season so far? You've got 4 options to vote for there. It's a shame, really, isn't it? All the games have been a bit... Well, we did Wolves against Man City yesterday, Brentford against Arsenal today. They've been a bit one-sided. There's Mbeumo into... Oh, they've got the ball there. Nice ball wide. Cross comes in. Good defending. Good defending there. Corner to Brentford. Can you close that door, please? Oh, it is closed. Oh, I can hear his bloody dishes, and I'm starving. Why is it biased? Tell me why it's biased. Instead of going so biased, tell us why it's biased. Celtic are letting me down in my 10-man fold, says Tumbleweed. Yeah, apparently Celtic are losing 2-0 at the moment to St Mirren at St Mirren. Which, is it a place in Scotland? I don't know. It's a football club. But they're losing 2-0. You would never have predicted that. But it is happening. Eriksen is winning the vote at the moment with 38%. Odegaard has got 34%. And Bernardo Silva has got 20%. So I'll keep it over for a little bit longer. Eriksen's actually gone further ahead, so he is going to win. Eriksen wins it over. I don't think there is a bias there, to be honest with you. If anything, I think that's probably about right, because Odegaard has missed a couple of games, hasn't he? And Eriksen has played, I think, every minute for Manchester United and has played very well. So I suppose it's if you don't watch football again, isn't it? It's that whole Varane's not had a good season, which some people have put in there, which I totally understand. I think some people just don't watch much football. Whereas some of us watch a lot of football, and therefore you can appreciate the Bella Kopchups of this world and the Nick Popes of this world because you've actually watched them play this season. Anderson at Palace is another one who, if you don't watch a lot of football, you'll go, what are you putting a Palace player in for? But yeah, Eriksen has been very good for Manchester United, as has Odegaard. It was quite close, but Brentford are about to make a few changes here. So we need to do right winger here. Who would you go as the right-hand side winger? Interesting. There will be no Manchester United player in this. Saka, Arsenal, definitely. Consider him. Kulusevski has done reasonably well for Spurs. Willian, says MCW. Mahrez has been good. Goalkeepers doesn't play right wing. Bernardo Silva doesn't play right wing. Foden's been playing off the right wing, yeah. I've got three really here. So Maximin plays off the left and has been injured the last couple of games, so we'll come to him in a minute. So I've got three. Why does it keep doing that? Oh, I could crush a grape. I'm going to copy it this time. So we've got Jules. Oh, fuck off. I'm annoying myself now. You know when you leave caps lock on? Kulusevski and what was the third one? Yeah, okay. Get your votes in for the right winger or right midfielder or right attacker for team of the season so far. So far. Obviously, if we were doing the best player, you'd go Mo Salah, but he's not had the best start to the season. Good play here from Martinelli. Headed away. Another positive for Arsenal as well. I don't think many of their players are going on international duty, which is interesting, isn't it? The Brazilian squad, if I just get it up for you: Alisson, Ederson, Weaverton, Thiago Silva, Marquinhos, Danilo, Telles, Sandro, Militao, Bremer, Ibanez. Hold on a minute. Oh, great save by Raya from Saka there. Could have been four. Goalkeepers, Ibanez, Casemiro, Lucas Paqueta, Fabinho, Fred, Ribeiro, Neymar, Firmino, Junior, Vinicius Junior, Anthony, Richarlison, Rafinha, Rodrigo, Cunha, and Pedro. Why is Jesus will go to the World Cup, won't he? Why is Jesus not in the World Cup? It's close between Kulusevski and Saka. Keep your comments coming in. I would have gone for Foden, to be honest, but Man City don't have many fans. How in the hell is Saka winning? Because we're doing an Arsenal watch-along. Of course, I said this with Ramsdale. I would have gone with Pope, but Ramsdale won. That squad for Brazil is very good. A lot of people have got Brazil favourites to win the World Cup. But what was the more important point was Ramsdale's going on international duty. Ben White's not. Saliba, is he going on international duty? I think he might be. Gabriel's not. I don't know about Cherny. Sinchenko, I don't know. I presume Thomas Partey is. I think Xhaka probably is. But Jesus isn't going. Saka is. Martinelli obviously isn't. Odegaard probably isn't with an injury. So they'll have a few players. They'll have a few players that are, not going away on international duty. Anthony says Eriksen won because it's a Mark Goldbridge channel. Or maybe Eriksen won because he's actually been very good this season and people watch football. Why is no one talking about Smalling being out of the England squad? Says Badder. Because he's been out of the England squad for ages and Southgate doesn't like him. I mean, I think Southgate said he didn't like him years ago. Yeah. So Saka's going to get in here because it's not changing. So Saka gets in, which leaves one spot left because Haaland obviously plays up front. So we need to just do the left-hand side of the... who's been the best left-sided player in the Premier League season so far. Well, it ain't Jack Grealish. And it ain't Jadon Sancho. It could be Sancho could get in there, to be fair. I don't think there's an abundance of people. I think Diaz has played well for Liverpool. And I think Zaha's played well. And I think Trossard's played well. I'm just trying to think if there's anyone else. You can't put Son in there off one game. Right, I've got 3 here. I'm going to put St. Maximin in there. Diaz. There we go. Get your votes in. St. Maximin, Diaz or Martinelli. There you go. Martinelli has been good. I wouldn't have him in there, but I think he deserves to be in there based on so far. I think he has been decent for Arsenal. I think Sancho's been good, but I wouldn't put him ahead of those 3. To be honest, I'd put him in the England squad every day of the week. But, you look at some of the people that Southgate's called up, and we've never mentioned their names on this. Bowen and Maguire and Shaw and... Well, Phillips isn't in it anymore, is he? He's injured. Nice ball. Good save by Ramsdale. Best chance of the game for Brentford. It was a hard angle, but it was a good save by the keeper. Justifying his spot as your goalkeeper of the Premier League so far this season. There, this poll's getting damaged by the fact that we're doing an Arsenal watch-along, to be fair. Martinelli shouldn't be winning this, but it's an Arsenal watch-along, so, these things can be damaged. Apologies, but they are top of the league, though. They are top of the league, and I think Martinelli does deserve to be in there, but I can't control the vote. Diaz has been fantastic for Liverpool. I know they've not had a great start to the season, but for me, he's been their best player. Could have put Jesus left wing if you wanted, says Moff. Well, he plays up front, doesn't he? Plays up front. We're going to do manager, yeah. We'll do the manager. Na, 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 down away. It's close between Diaz and Martinelli. It's 37% against 38%, so I can't close it at the moment. Sterling's been robbed, says Todd. Yeah, I think he's probably been robbed by the fact that Chelsea are just not getting a lot of credit at the moment, are they? So, maybe that's what it's to do with, which is unfair. You can still be a really good player in a crap team. And I'm not saying that they're not a good team, but... Right, let's count it down. It's currently 1% between it. So get your votes in. Who is the best left-sided Premier League player of the season so far? Is it St. Maximin, Diaz or Martinelli? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, I'm going to go back onto it. And Martinelli has won it by 1%. So he is in your team. So I would have gone Diaz there. I would have gone Pope there. I agree with that. Yeah. So we just need to do the manager. Right. Well, the manager choices I'm going to do. Pep's unbeaten, so he's going to have to be in there. Potter's got to be in there for what he did with Brighton. Look at where Brighton are. They're in the top 4. So you've got to put him in there. You've got to put Arteta in there. Of course you have. And I think Pep. And I don't really know if anyone else deserves to be in there. I wouldn't put Ten Hag in there. No. I think he's doing a great job after the first 2 losses, but we're talking about Premier League team of the season so far. Arsenal have lost 1 game and they're top of the league. Pep's lost no games and he's second. And Potter put Brighton in the top 4. So the fact that we've lost 2 games, I think it just stops Ten Hag getting in there at the moment. And I'm tempted to put Conte in, but I'm actually going to put Silva in from Fulham because I think Spurs football has been a bit dreadful up until yesterday. So there we go. Eddie Howe can't be in there. They got bloody booed off yesterday, mate. Eddie Howe's not in there. I think you know what? Some people just don't watch football and just go, Eddie Howe's doing a good job. Like, he is doing an okay job, and I don't think they should have got booed yesterday. But they're mid-table Newcastle, and they've played 7 games. So I do think Eddie Howe is just a fashionable name to go, oh, Eddie Howe. But they're not actually doing as well as some of their fans would like at the moment. So, yeah, get your votes in. I pretty much think Arteta will win this because we're doing an Arsenal watch-along. It probably should be Potter or Pep, if I'm being absolutely honest. But we are doing an Arsenal watch-along. And they are top of the league. And it is Arsenal, who haven't been in the top 4 consistently for probably 5 years. So, you can understand that. I don't have to read your super chat, John. It's a contribution to the channel. I try and read them all. Apologies for missing it, but I don't promise to read them all. I don't know many channels that actually do manage to do that, but apologies. If you don't want to support the channel, probably don't do a super chat. Apologies for that, though. So Arteta's going to win this with 42%. I can't do anything about it. I mean, I could say vote Pep, but I'm not going to do that. In fact, vote Pep. Please vote Pep. No. We'll keep it open for a few seconds because we've only had 3,000 votes and they normally get 5,000. So get your votes in for who has been the Premier League manager of the season so far. Somebody just said you should only allow 3 players from each team. Well, you can't do that because if Arsenal were top of the league and they'd won every game 6-0, you'd probably have mainly Arsenal players. How was the TalkSport show last night? Yeah, it was. I mean, there's not been a lot to talk about this weekend, but we were speaking about, I mean, the Grealish thing was quite good. And this is what I want to talk about actually next. Can anyone compete with Manchester City for the Premier League this season? I spoke about it on TalkSport last night. I mean, fortunately, we couldn't put it live on YouTube because they're not doing live content on YouTube at the moment until after the Queen's funeral. But and Nketiah is just about to come on for Arsenal, and Arteta is your manager, by the way. I'm going to close that off. So, 42% of the vote. So let me just go through your Premier League. Welcome to the Members Club, Stones, by the way. Let me just go through your Premier League team of the season so far. You've got Ramsdale in goal. This is going to get clipped, so I may as well just run through it. Premier League team of the season so far. Ramsdale in goal. Delot at right back. Saliba and Varane centre back. And then left back Cancelo. Rodri, De Bruyne and Eriksen in the midfield, and then Saka, Haaland and Martinelli with Arteta as the manager. What are your thoughts on that? I disagree. I would have Pope in goal. I would have Diaz instead of Martinelli, and my manager would probably be Arteta, to be fair. But I'd make those 2 changes. That's all I'd do. No Martinez. Well, you know, Martinez has been fantastic, but Saliba has been fantastic and Varane's been fantastic. I think you could make a case for Martinez, of course you could, but I actually think the centre-backs are right. And got another person here called Will who doesn't watch football. He's laughing about Varane and Eriksen. Mate, if you don't watch football, you're just exposing yourself. Look, Arteta deserves to be the manager. Saliba deserves to be in the team. And Varane and Eriksen deserve to be in the team. You don't watch football. Welcome to the world of not watching football. If you don't watch teams and you're just a bitter twat, that's up to you. But if you actually watch football and watch lots of games in the Premier League, you'd understand who the form players have been. Why didn't you shoot? Oh, offside. The next thing I want to talk about is this thing in the bottom left-hand corner. Can anyone compete with Manchester City for the Premier League? And the honest answer is, at the moment, yes, because that league table, as you can see as it stands, has Arsenal top, and then it has Man City and Spurs on the same amount of points. And I keep hearing that Manchester City are going to run away with this Premier League like they're running away with this Premier League, and they're not. They're in an ominous position, but they're going to be in that position. They're Man City. They've won the league for the last 2 years. They've got one of the best strikers in the world playing up front, but they're not running away with it at the moment. So the point is, who can compete with Manchester City for the league? Now, I predicted that Man City would win the league at the start of the season, and I think they will win the league. But look at it like this. They are currently behind Arsenal. They are currently level with Spurs. Now, for me, the test is, can Arsenal or Spurs or both be within touching distance of them when we break for the World Cup? That's phase 1. Then you basically get to Christmas, and in January you've probably got to buy a couple of players. That's phase 2. And then phase 3 is, can you stay with them until April? I think it's going to be very, very difficult for them to do it. But at the moment, you've got to give a bit of respect to those teams and a bit of credit to those teams, haven't you? So I still think that Man City will run away with it. And as I said last night on TalkSport, the big question is, it's a 38-game season. It's not a 7-game season. We've had 7 games and Arsenal are top. They're not even, you know, you've got to times that by 5 and you're still not completed the season. 7 5s are 35. So there's a massive amount of time to go. And that is where I think people are talking about Man City's favouritism, because it's such a long, long season. It's going to be a hectic season. And I must admit, I look at Arsenal and I go, where's the bench? What's the quality if you get injury issues, which everybody seems to get and will get in a season like this. And I think the other thing to talk about as well is Manchester City. How many points did Man City get last season? How many points did Man City get last season? Because I don't remember. 93 says Creative. 98 says Luke. I don't remember. I think it was over 90, was it? 93. Everyone's saying 93. How many points did Arsenal get last year? Around 70. I don't think it was even 70, but around 70. So you're asking, and Spurs the same, you're asking Spurs and Arsenal to make 20-something points. That's a massive amount of points. And on top of that, you know, even if Man City dropped down to the mid-80s, even if they dropped down to the early 80s, even if they dropped down to 80 points, cannot Arsenal get 80 points? And that's going to be the problem. On a 38-game season, can Arsenal get over 80 points? And can Man City drop down to 80 points? And that's how somebody else wins the league. You need Man City to drop points, and you need Arsenal or a Spurs or a Chelsea or a Liverpool to get over 80 points. It's a big ask. And nobody can answer it at the moment, which is why people are going, who can keep up with Man City? Well, at the moment, Arsenal and Spurs can. But can they do it week in, week out? Because we know Man City can. One thing we know is that Man City are going to be somewhere between 80 and 100 points. Can anyone else? And that's the question. Can anybody else get between 80 and 100 points? It's very, very difficult because everybody's playing in Europe. And everybody's playing every 3 or 4 days. But I hope there is a period where Man City go and drop a load of points because it will make the Premier League more interesting. And I think Tan makes a good point as well. People forget that Arsenal's target is top 4, not the title. Yeah, but you're not gonna turn it down where you are at the moment, are you? And you've got to enjoy it. But yeah. This is a good response from Arsenal. They did lose to Manchester United last time out, and they've come back today, and they've been very, very good. And I think as much as the goals have been good, the clean sheets will be something that they're really happy with as well. Ramsdale's made a good save. This could be 4. But the next stage for Arsenal, the logical next stage for Arsenal is the bench. They've got to get to a point where their bench is full of first team players as well. You know, you look at Man City, you look at Liverpool, even Chelsea. All right, they've not been successful recently, but you look at those benches, and even Spurs to a certain extent. You look at their benches and you go, oh, there's some really quality players on there. Arsenal have got to get to that point, and they're not far off, but they do. I think in the attacking areas, what's the option beyond Jesus? They need to have another striker. I don't think Nketiah is at that level. United are at that point as well. You know, with Martial out injured, you've got Ronaldo, Anthony, Sancho, and Rashford's out injured at the moment as well. So, yeah. But the season hasn't really got going yet, and I think October's going to be very demanding. And that's only a glimpse. October's only a glimpse. We'll go to the World Cup. The season really starts on Boxing Day because I don't think anybody's ready for what's going to happen after Christmas. It's relentless. You know, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Europa League, Champions League, Premier League. It's going to get really, really hectic, and it's going to be a real test as to whether you can just keep winning. Another good save by the Brentford keeper from Jesus there. Could have literally had a hat-trick today. I think it's a shame Arsenal's game has been postponed against Man City because I said this a couple of weeks ago. I think Arsenal really will be looking forward to playing Spurs and Liverpool at home. And I think they'd like to be playing Man City as well because I think at the moment it's a good time for Arsenal to play anybody. They were very good against United. Look, I was very happy with that result, but Arsenal were very good. and I know Arteta said they should have won the game, and I understand why. They didn't deserve to win the game, but you can understand how he and Arsenal fans looked at that game and said, we could have won that game. We should have won that game. There was stages in the game where they could have took the game away. United deserved to win it, but Arsenal played well, and there were points where they, probably should have took the game away from United, but they didn't, and maybe they'll learn from that. But I think right now Arsenal would quite happily play Man City. But in 3 months' time or 4 months' time when they play them, it might be a different story. I think Schick would be a good player for Arsenal. Yeah, it gives them something different. But that's the next stage for Arsenal. Fair play. There's a lot of Arsenal fans who've acknowledged it, that I've been saying for a long time. I can see what Arteta's doing. I could see it two years ago. And I can see what the next stage is he'll be looking to get players in to build his squad out now. And then Arsenal are set to do whatever it is Arteta can do with that team. I'm not saying he can win a title. I'm not saying he can win a Champions League. Maybe he can only ever take you to consistently top four. But I don't think the Arteta revolution at Arsenal is far from completion. I think it really is now about bringing in a Tielemans or that type of player that goes on your bench but can also play for the first team. They need 3 or 4 of those. And I think this time next year, if they don't lose any players, Arsenal's Arteta journey will be complete, and it's about what you can do with that. And people would confuse that with, well, if it's complete, it's time to go. I mean, like, if you look at Pep Guardiola for the last, 4 or 5 years, that Man City team's been ready. It's just got to go and perform. You could say that about Liverpool at stages under Klopp as well. But Arsenal have never been complete, and it's been about gradually building it. I think once that bench has got the players on he needs it, it's then about what you can achieve. And they're getting there. They are getting there, and they are a good side. And it does pain me to say that because they're a rival, but in a way, United have been so bad for 10 years that you do drift your attention to other clubs that are well run and go, look, I don't like it, but I can respect it and not be childish about it. And I think what Arsenal have been doing for the last couple of years. And look, I'm not an Arsenal fan. I don't know what they think about Kroenke anymore. I don't know what they think about the way the club is run anymore. I don't know whether they want new owners anymore. I don't know anything about that. But as an outsider, I can observe and go, you know what? The way they've built it is pretty good. The guy's coming on who's 15, which is nice. 3-0 up. There's no pressure, is there? Get a bit of a debut at 15 years of age. Is he the youngest player to ever play in the Premier League? I don't know. Can you turn that down, please? Naughty Seb. You go deaf. Do you ever used to get told that when you was a kid? When you used to pull a if the wind changes, your face will stay like that forever. I used to go, what idiot? Even at 6, I'd say, what idiot believes that? You'd have to be really thick, wouldn't you, to think that the wind's going to change in your kitchen and your face is going to stay like that. It's called a stroke. It's not called the wind changing. I'm very unlikely to have it at 6. 4 minutes of added time. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. I'd like to say it's been an enjoyable match. I don't think it has. I think it's been very efficient from Arsenal. Totally deserved the result. Nwaneri is now the youngest player to play in Premier League history. 15 years and 181 days. So he's going to break records here. So he's only about 15 and a half, isn't he, as well? It's not like he's nearly 16. I'll tell you what, I didn't look like that at 15. Check his passport. He looked bigger than Saka. I don't know whether that's the 15-year-old. I thought the other guy... That's the 15-year-old, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Imagine if he scores, says Dima. Well, he's got 2 minutes. But this is all good for Arsenal as well, isn't it? This is all really good for Arsenal as well, because not only are you buying good players, not only are you top of the league, not only are you playing good football, you've also got a youth development program as well. I mean, it's all the ticks in the box, isn't it? The team's playing well, exceeding expectation. Summer signings are doing well. Teams playing for the manager. And you've also got young players coming off the bench as well. Look, I've seen this at United for years, and it's fantastic. You know, when you're getting your youth players involved, when you're buying well, when you're playing well, it just all adds to the positivity around the club. And yeah, I don't like it, but I can respect it. We're well into stoppage time now, Tyrell. 2-0. 3-0. Arsenal will be top of the league over the international break by 1 point, and it sets it up lovely for that North London derby straight after. World's oldest 15-year-old. But I mean, to be honest with you, that's just genetics. I'm sure he is 15 and 181 days. But I went to school with a lad who was, you know, same year group as us, and he was like double the size of everybody else. Like, you know, sometimes you just get these people, don't you? He's not a typical reflection of a 15-and-a-half-year-old, is he? Let's be honest. You go to, I mean, don't go looking at 15-and-a-half-year-olds at school on Tuesday, but you know what I mean? Like, your typical 15-and-a-half-year-old would not be able to do this. Mark of Champions, well done, Arsenal, says Zane. And child labour, another thing to add to the list of why I don't like Arsenal, says Joshua Bowater. Be interesting to see how his career goes, though, won't it? We'll all remember the name. Youngest player in Premier League history at 15 and 181 days. Will it be a novelty, or will he actually... Rooney as well. Look at Rooney. I mean, great comment from Don Carlo. Rooney was 16 and was bullying Sol Campbell and everyone else. Like, you do get these... And I don't want to use the word freak of nature, because that's a negative term. But you do get... And I'm sure you've all had it when you were at school. You'll get one player in the opposition team or in your year who is just bloody massive compared to everybody else. And that's why every now and again, these players end up playing in Premier League football. It's not a tip. If you're 15 and a half and you're thinking, why haven't I made my debut for Man United or Arsenal? Don't worry about it, is what I'm trying to say in a very long-winded way, because it's not normal. It's not normal to be playing Premier League football at 15 or 16. Remember when Jose brought on Gomez? What happened there? Says Eric Leonard. Thank you very much for the super chat. Well, the game is over. It's been a fantastic stream. Really enjoyed all the chat that we've been doing. Make sure you subscribe, of course, by the way, and get involved with That's Football. Do check out my FIFA Career Mode. First 3 episodes are up. I'm trying to get it done before the start of the FIFA 23 season, a week on Tuesday, but it's got all the signings and all the transfers in there, so I'm really enjoying that. He's definitely not 15, says Sakib. Of course he is. Doesn't mean he'll actually be any good, says BB. Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe, like I say. And I'm on United Stand at 7 o'clock tonight with Ricky on a fan forum, which we've not done in probably months. So I'm looking forward to that. We're doing it at 7 because obviously Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid derby at 8 o'clock, which some of you might want to watch. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Really interesting stream, as was the Premier League team of the season so far. And yeah, I'll speak to you all in a bit. Thanks for watching. Get some lunch now.